This is the Coin Show Podcast. The show about coins and coin collecting. And not just any show. This is the #1 coin collecting podcast. Going 10 years strong. Here's Matt Dinger and Mike Nodelman on the Coin Show Podcast.
This is episode 195 of the Coin Show Podcast. I'm Mike.
And I'm Matt. Good to see ya.
Yeah, wow. Oh, that's insane.
We say that every show.
On this episode of the Coin Show Podcast. Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right. I do that. So on this episode of the Coin Show Podcast, we will, let's see, we are going to take some listener questions as always. We will do the real deal. And the real deal this week is going to be the 1901 S Barber Quarter. And we'll talk about a coming game.
Friend, you're totally missing the best thing that we do.
Yeah,
we do our coolest things.
As well as the coolest thing to walk into our shops this week. But first, as always, the news.
Hey, Mike.
The news this week is brought to us by Ambivalence. We don't care. We're ambivalent.
I like that one.
So the United States Mint has announced the appointment of Ventress Gibson as Deputy Director of the United States Mint.
Hold on.
Ms. Gibson?
Hold on. We got a catastrophe.
Technical difficulties.
Yep, total catastrophe here.
Please stand by. We are experiencing technical difficulties. Please.
I need one of those things that this goes beep, that they put up. What's going on here?
We need one of those frames that says technical difficulty has a test pattern. It has to have an Indian in the corner.
Huh.
As any good test pattern does.
I'm working on it here. Uno momento, friends. See, this is the cool part because on the audio show, I get to cut all this part out. So
yeah.
When we get back to, where is it here? Sorry, this program updated and I moved everything. So,
whoops.
I know it's really a kind of a pain in the booty. Let's see here. Is this it? Oh, that's it. Okay. Hello there, news. All right, just let me stretch this away and that this way. All right.
There you go.
Whenever you're ready, Mike, go ahead. Taffy, I don't like you. He just said, did you borrow technology from the U.S. Mint again?
Potentially.
It's possible. All right, buddy, let's go.
All right, so let's try this again. The United States Mint has announced the appointment of Ventress Gibson as Deputy Director of the United States Mint.
Huh, so they appointed a Deputy Director.
Yes, Ms. Gibson is a Navy veteran who has spent her post-military career as an HR professional. So she's held prior positions with the VA, the FAA, and also as the Associate Deputy Assistant Secretary for Human Resources for the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. That sounds like a government title if nothing ever did.
Wow, that was a really long title.
It was.
Wow, that's amazing.
But given her background is in human resources, it's my assumption that she'll help search for the next Mint director. So therefore the deputy, because, otherwise it doesn't make a lot of sense.
Right. Huh, cool.
She is the first black person to head the Mint. Not my words, theirs.
Huh.
Yeah. So apparently no African Americans have ever headed the United States Mint. She is the first.
Huh. Well, that's pretty darn nice. Cool. Yeah. I'm excited to see what's coming. We've kind of gone through a couple of tumultuous periods in the U.S. Mint here with the directors of the last couple of times, and so hopefully we can.
Do you think this is a failure in leadership?
Do I think what is a failure in leadership?
The problems that are going on with the Mint.
Well, I mean, it starts at the top, right?
Well, I would purely call this a failure in leadership. It's not a matter of skill. It's a matter of will.
Yeah. Well, that's true.
That's,
But it
that's
is also the government, and you know how that works.
yes, or it doesn't work.
Well, there you go.
Yes. So this announcement came October 25th. On October 29th, Mint News Blog, which is basically a blog of the U.S. Mint, posted on social media and on the blog itself that there's nothing wrong with the process at the U.S. Mint.
Well, maybe not the process itself. I'm sure they're able to make a lot of coins, but
Well, look, this brief message that they posted all over social media says that during the pandemic, not only did the U.S. Mint not lower production, but actually increased it. That the Mint's number one function is to create coinage for commerce, and that at that they are excelling.
well,
Now,
sure.
this would all be good and fair if this was in response to public outcry over coin shortages, but it's not.
Yeah.
The last line of the post states, although collectors have a lot to say about how they've been treated, the U.S. Mint exceeds its primary mission as the nation's coin manufacturer.
Huh. Okay. Huh.
So how do you take that one? How
That
does that make you feel?
that kind of sounds like it's from our sponsor, the ambivalence.
Yeah, I mean, look, this shows exactly how tone deaf they are to what's been going on.
Yeah.
And if you're making excuses saying that you're busy making coinage, we get it. But to say, hey, we're doing great here, regardless of what collectors are complaining about, is just disingenuous, and it shows that they still don't understand the basic issue.
Other than the biggest coin dealer in the world, for all intents and purposes. So you're going to get some pushback from that. We get it. You know, you make the coins for the country. Gotcha. 10-4. But you also release all these things on your website and make large amounts of money. So
And that's what people are complaining about. So for them to say, well, hey, look, we're doing our job and we're doing great at it, it's like, I don't think you're paying attention.
yeah, I agree. Wow.
Yeah. Hashtag Dear U.S. Mint.
Dear U.S. Mint.
NGC has made some changes to their website to make it more device friendly. So I've checked out the new website, and no matter what I accessed it with,
Yeah.
it worked like it was designed for that device, not just adapted to it.
Cool. That's good because there are some really great resources out there on the internet, and it pains me sometimes when I try to access them on my phone and they're just terrible because, I sit in front of a computer sometimes, most of the time, so I'm able to, just pull them right up and access them. But, if I'm out at a show or something and I need one of those resources, sometimes I get really sad and frustrated because they just don't work on my phone.
I think it's really interesting that our hobby lags at so many things technology wise that it shows kind of who's pulling the switches and the levers because this has been an industry thing with internet sites and stuff like that for 6 or 7 years now. So for NGC to make a big announcement that hey we made it to where it shows up, they
Right.
all should work like that, right?
Yeah, it'd be
But
nice.
I have to give them credit because it does work. Now I'll say that I didn't really need NGC to do this, right?
Well, do you ever?
Well, the app is also available for my devices.
Right.
But if you have limited storage or usage requirements that don't allow you to download the app, this is a really nice alternative.
Yeah.
This also makes the website on your desktop act, look, and feel more like the app.
Good.
Now, the importance of this is that you can make your site, one single experience across all the platforms. And as you enhance your web design, now you can do so across all platforms at once, making for a much less schizophrenic experience.
Good job. I like that. You're a wordsmith sometimes, Mike. You really are.
I had a lot of time to write today.
I see.
Yeah. There is a new U.S. Mule coin for 2021.
I saw this story. This is cool.
A proof die was used to strike 2021 $10 quarter-ounce gold eagles. The discovery was made by a California coin dealer who was just looking at rolls of coins.
Well, I mean, that's how this stuff gets discovered.
Yep. So these coins were struck with an unfinished proof die, so the surfaces are like that of a typical bullion coin, but bear a W mint mark.
Somebody just goofed up and put the wrong die in the wrong box on purpose or maybe not. And
Well, I don't know. I mean, the die was never finished though. So
well,
I
no,
mean,
it was finished. It was finished not as a proof finish though. It was given the regular mint state finish and then sent off to strike
you're
coins.
thinking burnished, right?
Right,
Because
sure.
they're burnished, but they have not made fractional burnished coins since 2008.
Well, but no. Well, yeah. What I'm saying is, they have there have been other examples that this has happened.
The last time it happened was, I want to say, in '95,
Yeah,
with a W mint mark that showed up on a 10th ounce.
I think there was actually more than one that year, but it happened.
Okay, it might have been more than once, but it happened. But those were actually burnished. Those were actually burnished dies that ended up getting used on, if I recall correctly, on circulation coins. Whereas this is definitely a proof die that was unfinished, and PCGS calls it that. So
I'm not sure if they mean unfinished by like it wasn't given the proof finish rather than
they say unfinished
a
proof
finish.
die.
So.
That's what it says on the thing, and so that's the way that they've certified. They've certified 61 coins that the dealer found.
There'll be more,
including a solid roll of 40 coins.
Yeah, there'll be more. I mean, obviously this is a thing, so they're coming.
But
there's going to be a bunch.
PCGS has labeled the coins as unfinished proof dies, and the discovery coins as discovery roll.
Huh.
So
I mean, it's
these are always
cool.
going to have a big premium to them.
It's kind of a fun little side note on these. There's this out there that people, might be able to get or find. From their bullion distributor.
The coins should be fairly limited.
Possibly. You don't know. You never know until a few years later on this stuff, until it shakes out for a while.
Think about it in terms of there's at least one die that they used, right? So you have to think about die life and how many. I mean, that's I think what it comes down to is what the typical die life is going to be.
And if they caught it,
so maybe they never caught it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
Best case scenario.
Yeah. Well, yeah. If you're the guy that found that roll, you're going to hope that there's not that many more that get found. So.
Yeah. Well, like I said, he has the discovery coins, and he now has them certified as discovery coins. So, I mean, the article says that he was hoping to pay for his kid's college education on it, and he may very well do that.
Good for him. Yeah. Heck yeah. Way to pay attention.
Absolutely. It was the funny thing is it was a dealer doing one thing that dealers never have time is just
looking at coins.
Looking at coins, right? The American Numismatic Association has invited Money Talk speakers for the 2022 National Money Show in Colorado Springs.
Cool.
So those interested in making a Money Talks presentation should submit an online proposal through the ANA website no later than December 7th for the show in March.
You going to do that, Mike?
No.
I had to ask.
I've definitely got enough on my plate right now.
I had to ask.
Yeah. You?
No, heck no. I don't have time for that. I wish I did.
Let's see. Those interested in making, we covered that. Let's see. Money Talks presentations should be accompanied by digital images. Contact Sam Gelberd, the ANA's numismatic educator, too. Ooh. The numismatic educator at 719-482-9846 for additional information. Proposals can be submitted online or emailed to sgelberd@money.org.
Numismagic.
Yeah, it was magic.
That was good.
Magic.
I like that.
PCGS has partnered with the Central States Numismatic Society for the 2022 CSNS show.
One of my favorites. Like that show a lot.
Oh, we love that show. It's local.
Mostly because I get to hang out with you. So.
Oh, absolutely. It makes the whole time just great. And then we get to have fun.
Yes.
This type of partnership will likely help to create a bigger and better show for this year. So I think, many organizations were really hurt last year by the pandemic. I'd expect to see lots of companies linking up to kind of create these bigger, better venues, particularly this year and possibly going forward.
Yeah. I mean, this whole pandemic changed everything. So it changed the way business is done. It changed the way shows are done. It's going to change the way that shows are done in the future. So we'll see. Hopefully some good comes out of this.
Well, this is the first time the PCGS has partnered with a show that wasn't run by Collectors Universe.
Right. Yeah. So
it's the first time ever. So, and there will be a PNG day.
Cool. Love that.
So, If I recall correctly, the article about the PNG Day said that you can either get an invitation to it from your PNG dealer, or you can go to the PNG website and you can sign up to get an invitation. So you get an opportunity to go for free.
Yeah. Oh, and they're always fun. I always have a good time. So.
In WorldCoin news,
Ooh.
our nation's hat released a circulating commemorative 10-cent coin to mark the 100th anniversary of the schooner Blue Nose,
Nice.
a famous Nova Scotian racing vessel which sailed from 1921 until her demise in 1946.
Well, that's cool. I mean, schooners aren't my thing, but not a bad looking coin.
Yeah, it's one of those that the coin has been like this for our entire lifetime,
Right.
and it's just the boat that has been on there. They're kind of so it's a really Canadian symbol, and particularly Nova Scotian, and they used to refer to Nova Scotians as Blue Noses.
Oh, see, how do you know all this Canadian history, Mike?
Well, it's just reading.
Oh, there you
So
go.
the coins will be issued in 2.5 flavors. Now that's flavors with a U.
The Canadian way, right?
Yeah, one will be the circulating coin and be double dated as 1921, 2021, and it looks pretty much like the regular coin.
Right. Similar.
The other will be issued with a largely artistic design, both in a colorized version and a non-colorized version. So that's your 2.5 flavors. There's also a 3-coin set available that has all 3 of them in it. Now, I really like the design with the color on it, with the paint.
Sure.
Because, I mean, it's the ocean, and it just looks nice.
Right. Who doesn't like the ocean? If you don't like the ocean, you're a weirdo.
Unless you have relatives that drowned.
Well, sorry. My fault.
Vatican City is issuing new silver-proof and colorized coins to mark the 700th anniversary of the death of Dante Alighieri.
Now, here's a country that doesn't need any coinage for commerce whatsoever. And
It's the smallest country in the world.
Yeah, and they make lots of coinage.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's just rather interesting.
I'll bet you they don't have any problems with their website.
No, I bet they don't either. That Pope's IT department is rocking.
Oh, dude, that's the response time there is awesome. So, rectangular sterling silver proof coins with a colorized image of Dante on one side and the crossed keys emblem of Pope Francis and a 25 euro denomination, as well as a 2 euro coin issued in both uncirculated and proof in some fairly limited numbers. So this is going to be not only, there's a couple of interesting coins to it, but not too many of them.
Yeah, and it's actually interesting that, I mean, the mintage on that 25 euro piece is only 1,300. So,
well, it's a rectangular coin. That's kind of the,
Yeah.
But then again, it's not for commerce, so.
But the TV guys are going to love those.
Rare. This year's version of the UK Snowman 50p coin is now available, or will soon be available. The article really isn't all that clear about it. This marks the 4th design in the series. Now, these coins will be available in both colorized, with a U, versions and brilliant versions. 300 gold coins, 7,000 silver coins, which are the brilliant coins, and 10,000 colorized clad coins. So due to the low mintage numbers, these coins always sell out quickly. I received one last year. They truly are. They're beautiful. They're really cool coins.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fun topic, and not necessarily something I'm going to go out and buy, but it's interesting. It's definitely something different to have on a coin. So, cool.
Just different. A Michigan woman made a discovery that was truly the bomb. Wow. I couldn't help myself. But this one is an interesting story. It appears that a couple of women were doing a wellness check on an aunt that suffers from dementia. And in one of their closets, they discovered what appeared to be an unexploded shell from a very large weapon.
All right.
So they contacted the police, who called in the bomb squad, who took the ordnance to a safe location and x-rayed it, and the x-ray told the story. Wow. So this was a bank that was shaped like an artillery shell.
Oh, wow.
And inside, they found mostly modern stuff, including Warren Jefferson nickels, bills from Series 1963A. There was even a statehood quarter among the cash, so likely the aunt knew about it and had been in it recently.
Wow, that's funny.
Yeah, so the Coin Week story goes on to describe the treasure find as, wait for it, a dud.
A dud. Oh, gosh.
Yeah, they'll hear all of
Oh,
it.
Mike, why? Why? You're so.
I didn't look. That was Coin Week.
Okay. Okay. Well, at least it
Don't
wasn't
blame
you.
the messenger.
Okay. I
Don't
won't.
shoot the messenger. And finally, in the news, friend of the Coin Show podcast, Jack D. Young, is
Yep.
starting a new series of articles in Coin Week. And if you get a chance, you should definitely give them a read.
Yeah, I
Now,
see.
this series will review specific counterfeits that have been authenticated by third-party graders and why the items are fake.
Right.
And unlike some of his past articles, these are much more concise and will always feature comparison images to genuine examples to illustrate the problems that he's found.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the problem with this coin is that it's just an old struck counterfeit. I mean, that's kind of an interesting, interesting thing about this coin.
Yeah. So the first installment features an 1882 1 shilling coin and points out design flaws on both obverse and reverse dies. And, my thought on this is that people that do this kind of work are like the angels of numismatics. They really are. They're educating people for the sheer benefit of letting us all know that even the experts get it wrong on occasion.
Yep. And that's the thing. This counterfeit coin was certified in a PCGS holder, so it was past muster. So somebody just wasn't paying attention. It happens.
Everybody makes mistakes.
Yes.
I make them all the time.
Yeah, that's my wife. Hi, babe. Are you watching?
Please.
But yeah.
Well, that's the news. And the news tonight was brought to us by Ambivalence. We don't care. We're ambivalent.
You're listening to the Coin Show Podcast with Matt Dinger and Mike Nodelman.
So that was fun.
Good time.
Yeah, good times. Matt seems to be having throat problems today.
It's the weather.
Yeah. Well, it's that time of year.
Yeah.
So, let's see. We got some stuff going on in the live chat. We're going to try and answer those as best we come to them. I also wanted to share some news that we have a new game that we're going to be playing, isn't it?
Yeah. I feel like this is going to go like most of the other games we play, where I get to be the guinea pig.
Actually, I don't see how there's a possibility of that. I don't think that this is not, and it may not be popular for this. This is not your Mad Ambush game.
Oh, well, I'm okay with that. Then let's do this.
Yeah, no. So it's going to be but we need some help with the name, because Deal or No Deal is kind of already trademarked.
Yeah.
So basically, we're going to do a little game where we have 10 coins that are varying in value from 1 cent to the 1933 Double Eagle, and basically you're going to pick a box, and the box is going to have a coin in it, and then we're going to open up the rest of the boxes and have offers along the way to see how it'll be fun. It'll be just like Deal or No Deal, but it'll be coin related.
Yeah. That way we get to talk about the coins as we open the boxes and make it
so it should be a lot of
educational.
fun, and it should be educational and fun.
I'm excited. When are we going to do that? Do you know?
Well, it's funny because it might even be something that can stand alone on its own. So we'll have to see what happens.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, we could do that. So that's some interesting stuff coming to the Coin Show podcast. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. Let's see. So what else do we have? We have.
You want to check in with the folks that are here? You want to say hi?
Let's check in with the people that are in the chat.
Okay.
Let's see what they got going on.
You guys hanging out tonight? I see you. I see you guys talking about the Royal Mint. Taffy Coin said he wished the Royal Mint would sort themselves out. Literally, they're ruining 2-ounce silver coins right now. Oh, here's another question.
And the Royal Mint usually does a pretty good job, according to most.
Yeah.
So.
Eli asked, any tips about setting up at a coin show for the first time? hang on to your butt because you're going to get an education.
Yes, you are.
Yep. Security is always important. Consider everything when you're, setting up at a show. You want locking cases, of course. Make sure they work. Bring anything you might need. Flips, price sheets, calculators, pens, markers, rubber bands, everything.
Everything.
Run through it because the one time you forget something, you're going to need it. Loops. Mm-hmm. I've done coin shows without loops before. That sucks. Yeah.
That is really hard.
It's hard. It's not fun. So don't forget any of that stuff. And then, you might walk around and introduce yourself to some of the people that kind of seem like they either run the show or, or some of the bigger guys that are set up there. Just introduce yourself and try to make some friends, and maybe you'll do some business. So
be nice to your neighbors.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Neighbors are the best. I love good neighbors at the show.
They'll watch your stuff while you go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's really good, solid advice.
Yes. Let's see here. Henry Nelson, this is probably a dumb question. No such thing. But it occurred to me for the first time while looking at the O Privy Mark Morgan. Why was the mint mark for New Orleans O instead of N? Good question. I don't know. I don't know why they picked O.
No idea. It's odd that they went with a 2-letter mint mark for Carson City.
Yeah, they could have done NO.
2-letter mint mark for New Orleans.
Yeah, they could have done NO for New Orleans. That would have been interesting.
Yeah. There is no rhyme or reason to it. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
We had an email from a listener named Jay Serena.
Okay. I love
he's
emails.
listened to every Coin Show podcast from the very beginning.
Jay, you're an animal.
Forward to the show every single week.
You're an animal, Jay.
Yeah, we owe him something at this point.
Yes.
So he says he has a coin-related U.S. Mint problem, which he could use some guidance on. And given that, we're always talking about the U.S. Mint,
okay,
and especially lately about the botched product releases, he figured that maybe we could offer some advice.
Okay.
So, basically, he has moved, and he had to purchase the O and CC Mint dollars in May.
Yeah.
And since he's moved now, the Mint is going to ship them either to his previous address, which will bounce it back to the Mint.
Yep.
Or, won't deliver it at all.
Yeah. I've heard of some people having luck actually getting on the phone with the Mint and talking to them about this. But yeah, this is an issue because that's what happens with these issues when they issue them so far out is, things change. You might get your credit card might get, you might get your credit card number stolen and have to get a new card, or, things come up in 8 months. You might have to move, and changing these things a lot of the times with the Mint just automatically results in a canceled order for those previous orders, because that's just how they roll. And I don't know the answer to that question. I don't know if they're, from what I have heard, a few people have said they've had luck getting the Mint to change addresses with phone calls to an actual person. But other than that,
I would think that phone calls to an actual person or the chat. Now, Jay says that, he's tried calling them in, and I've experienced this myself. There are so many people trying to contact the Mint right now that it's brutal.
Yeah.
You can't get through, or it's just not available. I say the chat all the time is unavailable, right? But I will tell you that if you keep watching it, it becomes available. So you're going to have to do that. You need to speak to somebody because, and here's the biggest problem, is that your case, although created by the Mint and a definite problem, also kind of smacks of what a fraudster would do.
Right. To try to get
that, I moved. Can you send them to this? So, I mean, they're set up to kind of wall that stuff away.
Yeah.
And the only way that you're going to get anything done is to literally talk to somebody. So, as difficult as it has been and as difficult as it can be, all you can really do is just keep trying to contact people, because that's it. Yep. That's your only hope.
I agree. And it stinks. I understand why they do it, but I don't. I think it sucks. Just personally.
Well, again, this is something that was created by the Mint.
Right.
because they decided that they had such a problem with them. Although, if I remember correctly, they have always said they were going to ship them in October.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, it was always a thing that you were going to order them now, and you're going to get them towards the end of the year. Everybody understood that, but again,
Yeah.
things happen.
Yeah.
Somebody can steal
And
your card,
this
and
is an example of something that's legitimate. People move.
yeah, yeah. I
They
mean,
change addresses for all kinds of reasons. They get transferred. They have to all kinds of stuff.
yeah,
It's not their fault that the mint decided to issue the coins 6 months after the order.
yeah. The best, like we said, the best thing to do is just get on the horn with them and see what you can figure out.
Yeah.
So
And I mean, you try odd hours because the chat line is 24/7.
it's true.
Try 2 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm not sure
being
that would be. I'm not sure that would be the best idea either. So
Well, no, I will tell you that I truly think that the chat is bot assisted, right? That
yeah,
it's not really a live person most of the time, but if you phrase it the right way and you keep talking, that you eventually do get to somebody. Jay had said that he actually talked to somebody. They said that they'd have a supervisor call him back, in 48 hours, and he's never heard back from him, which, that I understand. Email's not going to work. There's just no way to do it. You've got to actually do this, and it sucks. And we our heart goes out to you because that's horrible.
but thank you so much for listening to every single episode. You're an animal. Sorry,
We
had to close it with that. So, Carl says, "Call your game Numa's Mystery Box." I kind of like that. Kind of like that. We might have to go with that. I don't know. We're gonna figure it out.
Oh, we'll give that some thought.
Yeah, I kind of like that.
Box.
Box of
Mystery
mystery.
Box.
Let's see. Let me kind of just peel through the chat here before we move on. All right. Well, sir,
Yes, sir.
which one do you want to do
Eli
next?
said that he talked to an OG coin collector. He told him that he found a $2.50 Indian in a penny roll last month.
Wow. I mean, it happens
More
very,
the
very
size-
occasionally.
2.5 more the size of a nickel.
Yeah. No, they're small. They would
Was
fit.
Penny.
Yeah, they would fit in a penny roll.
Okay.
Yeah, it happens.
Yes, it's not unheard of. It does happen.
Yeah. Very, very, very rare to happen, but it does. Yeah. I've seen it happen.
Real tragedy. That thing went into a Coinstar machine. It ended up in a roll somehow.
Yeah, I don't think it went into a Coinstar machine because they're pretty good about calling out stuff that's not right.
Okay.
So
So maybe in a customer wrapped roll to a bank.
possibly.
There's your search.
Man, that'd be a heck of a day. Can you imagine opening a penny roll and seeing the edge of a 2.5 Indian staring out at you?
Well, the
Wow.
funny thing is you go to the bank and you see the customer wrapped rolls and you're like, nah, I don't want those. I
Right.
want new ones.
Right. Yeah.
Now you're like, no, I want the customer wrapped roll.
Yeah, that's true. Well, sir, where do you want to jump to next? Do you want to jump to
Let's do the real deal. Because
the
we should
real?
always close with the strong one.
All right. Let me get that right
So-
here.
So tonight, on our real deal segment, we're going to talk about the king of the 20th century coins.
Yep.
This coin is one that I was going to, when I first got back into coin collecting, I was going to put together a typeset.
Okay.
And I, like many people, 20th century typeset really kind of appealed to me. I'm like, you know what? 20th century typeset's just a little bit too easy, though. I mean, it's just collecting one of each type. The only ones that are even remotely difficult are the Barber coins. And it's like, okay. So I decided, oh, let's go uncirculated. No. I got it. I'm going to get an uncirculated key date of every coin.
You didn't think about that real hard, did you?
I really didn't think it through very well because there's a couple of coins in there that are just stoppers, right?
Yeah.
And it's like you normally think 16D is the first one, but it's not. The 16D is worth a fraction of what this coin is worth.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm talking about the 1901 S Barber Quarter.
Yeah. Let me pull this up for everybody.
Yeah, so we want to tell everybody that this was courtesy of barbercoins.org. They have a really good web page on authenticating 1901 S Barber Quarters. And one of the things that I really love about this coin and what makes it so easy is that there are literally 2 obverse dies and 2 reverse dies. And that's it.
Yep. I was doing a little researching when you said that you wanted to do this coin on this segment, and I actually came across this website, so not surprising that you picked it.
No, it's a really good website. So the great part about the 01 and being a barber coin is it has denticles, and the denticles are really good for spotting where things should be located on the coin, from stars to numbers, letters, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
The A obverse of the coin has ones centered over denticles. The B obverse of the coin has the ones centered. The center of the ones is to the left side of the denticles, but they're both moved.
Yep. It's kind of centered over a space.
Kind of.
So.
And the reverses, you judge them by the mint mark position versus the R and the D and the angle at which the S is there.
Yep. So 01S Barber Quarters, that S mint mark's always going to be tilted just a little bit to the left.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what you kind of want to look for.
The thing about the mint mark that I think is really important to look at is that, okay, most of the counterfeits of this particular coin are going to be ones with an added mint mark.
Yes.
That's just the practicality of it. It's the easiest way to create it. So the mint mark should match the state of wear of the rest of the coin. The devices of the coin, the lettering, particularly the words $quarter and the eagle's tail feathers, should be of virtually the same wear as the S mint mark.
Yep.
And so that's going to be your big key as to whether or not that is genuine. But honestly, the obverse side and those ones is generally enough to authenticate the coin. There are on the A obverse die, there are die breaks that show up in late die states, and although they say that that if you have the die crack, then the coin is definitely genuine.
Huh.
So there's a crack that goes from the tip of the bust to the first star, and then in later states goes to the second star from the first star. And if it has the crack, it's definitely genuine.
Nice. And then it looks like die pair B has some cracks too.
Yes, and there are also die cracks with B that can be identified. The positioning of so if you look at where the ones are centered over the denticles,
yep,
and then your next look is to where the second one is positioned in relation to the bust. Because if the ones are centered over the denticles, then the one should be really close to the bust. And if the ones are centered over the space, then the one should be separated from the bust.
Yep. Huh. Not a coin you authenticate very often, just because you don't see them very often, but I can see where this would be handy.
This is probably the best way for you to authenticate it on your own.
Yep.
Knowing that this coin is genuine is the real key to it. This coin, let's see, I was looking it up in the PCGS price guide. It is, let's see, go into the PCGS price guide, and in a good 4, PCGS price guide has this coin listed at $4,500.
That's a lot.
In VG, 10 grand. And it goes up from there.
It's an exceedingly scarce coin. I mean, it's a genuinely rare coin. And
this coin is more common in low grades and in uncirculated than it is in mid grades.
Oh yeah, mid grades of this particular coin are very, very hard to find. So it's actually hard. I'm sure it was hard for these guys to find a mid grade coin to put to get a picture of, because they do have a picture of a VF to XF coin. I bet that's a hard coin to find, just simply knowing that series and knowing, what goes on with those coins, especially this coin.
Yeah,
I like the part at the bottom where they cover the fakes that they've seen. They have one with a typical added S mint mark, which again the shape is wrong. It's not tilted.
The orientation is wrong, more importantly.
Yep. And then the second coin here is actually one that somebody cut in half. They cut a regular 01 quarter and then put on an S reverse from a different quarter and then stuck them together. So scary stuff. But now, if you know this information here, you guys, you'll be able to figure these coins out on your own, and hopefully we can help you make a good choice when it comes to buying an 01S quarter.
Yeah, because I'll tell you what, you find an 01S quarter, you hit the jackpot.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
Any condition, I don't care what. It's like an 1893S. Huh? We already did that coin. What do you know?
Heck yeah! Wonder what's next.
We'll have to see.
All right, pal. You ready for this?
I was born ready.
Well, good, because it's time for the coolest thing.
And now for the coolest thing to walk in this week. A competition segment between Matt and Mike to see who's had the coolest thing walk into their shops. Who'll win this episode? Let's find out. Matt? Mike? Who's got the coolest thing?
Always Mike.
Yeah, not this week, friend. Well, you're going first this time because I went first last time.
First, I got no problem with that. So,
All right.
this coin came to me at my desk.
Yeah.
It comes from an old collector, came from a private collection, and was something that I didn't even know existed.
Well, you should. I've done this coin on this particular segment before.
Really?
Yep.
Okay. So that was how long ago?
It's been a while, but yeah, I've done this one before.
So like 80 or something like that.
Oh, I don't remember what episode, but yep, definitely have.
Yes. So this one, you're right. You have done it now that I think about it, and I probably should have picked something else, but that's okay. This is equally cool. It was cool enough for you.
Yes,
so
it
cool
was
for me. So this is a Civil War token.
Okay.
That was actually a Confederate Civil War token.
Now, why is that? What does that make a difference, Mike?
Why does it make a difference?
Yeah, why does it make a difference?
Well, the fact that there's only one is, I think, probably the biggest difference.
Yes. This is Southern Civil War tokens were not really a thing. Like, they just didn't happen. So it was very, very much a Northern thing. And so to see this particular token that was floating around at the time and is considered a Civil War token of the South is what makes this coin pretty darn cool.
Well, what I always have to go back to when I'm trying to think about things like this is you go back to the history, right? So the Northern economy was much more industrial, and it was much more, city, and the South was more rural, and it was more farming, and it was all that stuff. So the commerce, was different, and the way that it was handled was different. So the need for, coinage and things like that during the war is probably greater in the North than it was in the South. So that's probably why they didn't have that many of them. Now, our executive producer, Barry, pointed out that this coin has a hole in it, and yet has been graded by NGC as XF45.
I think they let it slide on some of this stuff, just simply because sometimes they were issued with the holes, and it's not quite clear whether some issues were made that way or not. Sometimes you see them both ways. So I think they kind of let it slide on some of those issues.
Yeah, hard to say. I mean, with this one, I think it is well known to be without the hole. So I really can't comment as to that. But so this is the Wealth of the South, and it shows all the agricultural products that were issued in the South.
Nice.
And it was issued in 1860. So it's right as the Civil War had not yet started.
Right as it was kicking off.
Yep, right before they started.
All right.
So this coin was rehomed. We found its forever home. Actually, I didn't find its forever home. I found a coin dealer that was interested in finding it a forever home.
Oh, okay. So
and went for a really nice. Look, the thing about this coin is the value.
Right.
A lot of your Civil War tokens are 25, 30, 40 bucks. Some of them get into 100, 200, 250, 300. This Civil War token sells for 4 figures.
Yeah.
Over $1,000. So, yeah, we were able to move it on to another dealer that really likes it and is going to be able to make a profit on it.
Cool. Well, good, man. I'm glad that you brought a nice punt to the show this time because you knew I was going to crush you with my coin.
Okay. Well, let's see what you got.
So this coin just came bebopping in my office the other day with no phone call or anything, and it is a 1792 Getz pattern small eagle large cent with a George Washington bust. So do you know the story about this, Mike? Have you ever heard this story before?
Actually, this one is one that I'm really not familiar with. But 1792 is the very beginnings of the U.S. Mint.
Yes. So Getz was a guy who made tokens in that period, and he wanted the job of mint director. So he made some prototype coins, large cents, and for basically the purpose of lobbying to get the job as the mint director. So he made this particular coin. It was shown around, and they decided that they wanted to go a different direction. But as you can see, some of the earliest design elements that we still see on our coins today are on this particular coin. Now, on the obverse, you have George Washington with the date 1792 below that. And then on the reverse, you have what I consider to be kind of your typical heraldic eagle. You have an eagle with stars and a shield in front of it with the oak leaves or not the oak leaves. I'm sorry, the olive branch in one talon and the arrows in the other. So something that went on to become a design that we saw quite often. This is one of its first appearances. So very rare coin.
Cool. The stars within the eagle, so it almost looks like this is the precursor to the heraldic eagle reverse on the silver coins.
Yeah. So today there's about between 20 and 30 of these pieces known to exist, and this is one of them. The highest grade example in MS63, in MS64 is in a private collection, and MS63 sold for a few years ago for $207,000.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yes, this one features George Washington on the front. It says G. Washington, President. He eschewed that idea. He didn't think that he belonged on coinage and that our president should be adorning the coinage, which was the tradition of most countries at the time.
Right. So that's it. That's what walked in. I thought it was really, really cool. I never get ready for this when people walk in, and this guy literally pulled it out of his shirt pocket and handed it to me and said, "Here, you want to make an offer on this?" Sure. So
it never ceases to amaze me that this stuff just climbs out of the woodwork and it just appears.
It just shows up. It is. It's amazing.
I know, and it's like it's what prompted my smart aleck reply to everybody when well, it's got to be somewhere. I'm like, everything is somewhere, right? That's what prompted it, is because everything is somewhere, and some of this really rare stuff just comes out of these smaller towns and other places because that's where it's been.
It was a really hard choice for me because I actually rehomed a very, very, very nice coin as well this week. Last week. We sold a 16D Mercury dime in MS65 full bands to a customer.
I remember seeing that one.
So it was kind of hard for me to decide which coin I wanted to bring. But since that one's still at my office, I figured let's just go with that guy.
Well, here's where you're going to find out. Because if you don't win this week, then you should have gone with the 16D.
That's true. But you know what? If I can't win bringing a 1792 pattern large cent, then I'm just going to quit. I just give up and I'll retire from the show.
No, you can't quit.
And that'll be it. So you guys better vote for me.
You can't quit.
Just saying.
Don't.
All right, friend. Can you believe it?
All right. So that's 195 of these things in the books.
That's like, you figure every show is 45 minutes long. That's like 150 hours of coin content for you guys. Wow.
And most of it's accurate.
Mostly. Like, I would say at least like 82.5% accurate.
True-ish, Ish. So
thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight, the guys that are here in the chat. Thank you guys if you're not ingesting the show that way. If you're listening to it on your headphones right now, I see you, I hear you, I see your guys' downloads. I know you're out there, so thank you for listening.
And if you're on your way to work, have a great day today.
Yeah, because Mike said so, that's why.
That's right. So let's see. So we've got the new game coming. We have the release of the Peace Dollars coming. So they should be delivered next week.
You're gonna make a video. You're making a video, right?
Okay. Yeah.
You're making a video about these?
Yes, I'll make a video for the Peace Dollars. Like I said, I'm keeping those, so there seems to be no real reason to not open them.
Right.
I can't enjoy them from inside the box.
There you go.
That's right. Those are for me.
Yeah.
I said from word go.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted.
Yeah. Yes, you did. All right, buddy. Well,
any requests for what coin you want us to do on The Real Deal next? You can email us, Mike@coinshowradio.com. Don't bother Matt at Coin.
no, I check them. I do.
Oh yeah, that's right. Now you've got it. Okay, yeah. And did you see the email that I sent you?
No, not yet, but I haven't checked it in a few days, so I will.
It's show related. You need to look at it.
Will do.
Okay.
Will do.
All right. So other than that, 2 weeks.
2 weeks. We'll see you guys again in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks.
Thank you, everybody that helps us do this show. Ernesto, Barry, Corey, Justin, you guys all rock. Thank you very much for helping out. Thank you guys for listening. Mike, thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you for being here. I mean, look, without all these people,
Yes.
none of this would be possible, and it would all be pointless.
That's right. That's all. You're digging up the old school stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess I'll throw us out of here tonight, huh? For the Coin Show podcast, I'm Matt.
I'm Mike.
And we'll see
We'll
you
talk
guys.
to you next time.
You always do that. We'll see you guys next time on the Coin Show.
You've been listening to the Coin Show podcast with Matt Dinger and Mike Nottleman. The boys will be back soon with another informative and entertaining episode. Meanwhile, you can follow the show on social media at The Coin Show on Twitter and Instagram, and on Facebook at facebook.com/The Coin Show. You can also join their private group. Just search Facebook groups for Friends of the Coin Show and request access. But if you want to take it to the next level and support the Coin Show podcast, you can go to www.patreon.com/The Coin Show. If you subscribe at the $5 a month level or higher, you'll have access to Not the Coin Show podcasts on the off weeks, as well as other surprises reserved for our patrons. Visit our website at coinshowradio.com or download our podcasts on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, or wherever you download your podcasts. This has been the Coin Show Podcast.